If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like Simrigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Good evening and welcome to round 7 of the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series, brought to you by Everything Simulated Inside Lane Productions and streamed through Quasi Esports. Yes, I'm back in the booth this week after a disastrous run at Daytona last week. I knew I wouldn't actually get to finish the race, but I was hoping to do more laps than I did, but the old body just gave up on it. So back in the booth this week, and I am on my lonesome. So you've only got my droning voice to actually put up with. We are at Auto Club in Fontana, California for 100 laps or 200 miles. The track length is 2 miles or 3.21 kilometres. And fuel is 70% as usual. Tyres are 3 sets, so they get the starter set and 2 tyre changes along the way. And there's a change for this week. GWCs, we have 2 green-white checkers. We've had 2 rounds finish behind the pace truck, so we're going to try and avoid that by having 2 green-white checkers. And the incident limit is 37, and the first penalty for incidents will come out at 17, and then every 5 incident points after that until they get a total of 37. Now, I've set that pretty high. I'm hoping nobody reaches it, but we'll see how we go. This is a beautiful track to run on, and time of day is a little bit after 6 p.m. track time at the moment. Practice is set at 6, and race time I think is about 5 to 7 p.m. The weather conditions, air temp at the moment is 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Track temp is 85 degrees Fahrenheit, so we're looking at high 20s there Celsius, and it's supposed to get to around about, the forecast is for about 82 degrees Fahrenheit, so somewhere in the mid to high 20s Celsius. The wind's coming from the west, and the wind speed is between 14 and 15. It's moving around a bit. It's dropped down to about 12 now, 11. So yeah, it's moving around a fair bit. But these the sky conditions, we are clear and no overcast, no clouds. So we'll see how we go. Typical California evening as we take a look at the series standings. This is your top 10 in the championship. Gary Wellman leads with 211 points. Craig Roffey 9 points behind him. He's closing the gap there with 202. Adam Malone in third place on 190. Then Troy Davidson 186. Jamie Nankervis just squeaking into the top 5, equal on 186. Andy Barber 167. Tony Roffey 132. Troy Mortensen on 8th on 132 also. Tristan Koch 9th in the championship on 131. That's a good looking number. And Kate Donnelly 115 points rounds out the top 10 for the championship. The website actually has the full list of all 49 drivers that have completed or competed in a round of the championship so far, and their points at ozoval.wixsite.com/index, and you'll find our website there. As we take a look at qualifying, we've got Todd at Maxfield on screen at the moment, and Todd's given it a shot. He's actually just finished his one timed lap with a 41.1. Gary Wellman to the top of the sheets with a 40.8. Tristan Koch and Jerry Walters also completing their timed laps. I won't actually say who's in what position at this point because it will all change as we go through and the guys complete their timed lap. So they will move up and down in the order. Darren McKenzie, who is out on track at the moment, and I believe that's his out lap. He's just starting his timed lap now. Our second place getter last week in Southern Stars car 02 Ford Mustang GT. And that's the close of his lap, I believe. And we switch over to Peter Matson. And Darren McKenzie to the top of the sheets with his 40.776, just edging out Andrew Hoffman. Craig Roffey sitting in third on a 40.8. And I believe that's Shane Roffey on screen at the moment. So the times... Phil Butler, unfortunately, having a poor run there with a 54.1. So why that's got him sitting in 10th, I don't know. He should be dropping down the order when it sorts itself out. I think Shane Roffey is crossing the line to end his time lap. Nope, must be the start of his time lap. He must have been on his out lap. Rick Sanchez has put in a 40.931, which puts him in the top 10 at the moment. Jerry Walters from the US also, 40.938, just in behind Rick Sanchez. So two Americans there taking the last two spots in the top 10 at this point. We've got 50 seconds left in session, so we'll see how that plays out. Somebody might steal a spot. Adam Malone to the top of the sheets now. With a 40.752 ahead of Darren McKenzie. So that's, at this point, that's the Southern Stars lockout on the front row. And Andrew Hoffman to a 40.783. Oh, and the SRM car, I think that's Matty Raymond or Matty Hunter. He's give the wall a tap there. Oh, it's Noddy Tompkins, sorry, one in the 119. And he's given the wall a tap there, so that'll probably invalidate his time. No, he got a 46.027, so he must have tapped the wall after he completed the lap. And that is qualifying done and dusted. 3, 2, 1, we are done. So a Southern Stars lockout on the front row for Adam Malone and Darren McKenzie. They'll be pretty damn happy with that. And we will take a look at the gridding in just a moment. Going to go to a quick ad break before we take a look at the grid. Stick around. We'll be back in a moment.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Welcome back to Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series Round 7. As we take a look at the grids, the boys start to roll out. And Adam Malone and Darren McKenzie on the shutout of front row on row 1. Then behind him we got Andrew Hoffman, great qualifying effort from Andrew there, and Craig Roffey on row 2. Row 3, Peter Matson, good work from him, and Gary Wellman, both on row 3 side by side there. Row 4 is Kate Donnelly and Andy J. Barber, and Andy running a new livery we'll take a look at later on. Row 5, Rick Sanchez from the US and Jerry Walters, both also from the US, have come up onto, and they're sitting 9th and 10th. Row 6 is Phil Butler and Tony Roffey. Row 7 is going to be Aidan Schultz and Todd Maxfield from Simboys. Row 8, Shane Roffey and Liam Logan in the 803 car. Row 9, Adam Ariel in that wonderful comic strip livery, and Tristan Koch next to him. Row 10, Christopher Hoffman and Jared Williams. Row 11, Paul R. Drady and Jamie Nankervis from Everything Simulated Valve Esports. Shannon Wright and Noddy Tompkins share row 12. Wade Sheedy and Scott McClintock coming off row 13 tonight. Row 14, Troy Mortensen right up the back of the field there. So, we've got a couple of guys behind that may have not qualified, but they didn't register in the qualifying, so we didn't have them listed on the grid. As the boys go green, and Adam Malone gets a great start and pulls a car length or two out from Darren McKenzie, who's on the outside, with Craig Roffey all over the back of him and Gary Wellman in behind him. Roffey decides to move down onto the midline, and he's actually made a move, and he's taken the lead away from Adam Malone. So a great move and a great run there from Craig Roffey. Bit of speed involved down that mid-track line. And he's just keeping his nose in front, but Malone's not letting him get away as they basically sit side by side as Malone gets a really good push of his teammate Darren McKenzie in the Southern Stars 02 car. But Gary Wellman's moved down there as well, and he's sitting about a car length back from Craig Roffey. So you've basically got three teammates together, but Gary Wellman's going to spoil the party there. He's moved up in between the back of Adam Malone and the front of Darren McKenzie, and then Andy Barber in the Creek Water Whiskey livery. That's a new one for this week in the number 20 car. But Craig Roffey holding down first place here at the moment. Nice, good, clean, smooth start from everybody involved. And we're just seeing a little bit of a gap there between the front pack and the mid pack, and then there's a third one behind that. And we'll see how that actually eventuates. But the car's starting to spread out a little bit as the boys decide that it's lap 3 of 100 and they don't need to be playing for sheep stations just yet. And remember, at the end of this one, we've got 2 green-white checkers tonight, so we're going to try and avoid finishing behind the pace car, which has happened twice so far in the series, and hopefully we'll avoid that with a second green-white checker, as Gary Wellman and Craig Roffey almost come wheel to wheel, side by side there, and Roffey just manages to keep his headlights in front, but I think Wellman's going to take it as they come through this turn, and he'll nose himself in front there. Adam Malone in behind Craig Roffey on the outside. And, I think that's Aidan Schulz has just actually fired straight up to the outside line there in behind Adam Malone. So he's throwing his hat in the ring to be competitive here in the early stages tonight. And I think that's Andrew Hoffman in there as well in the number 51 car. And he's just sitting, basically would be second row, but right in behind the leaders. So Roffey and Wellman battling it out, and another Simboy, and I was just going to mention Kate Donnelly, and he's moved up across the front of Andrew Hoffman. Hopefully Andrew Hoffman hasn't worn too much damage out of that. As we take another look at it here, I think Kate Donnelly may have actually gotten a touch. I'm not quite sure how he managed to come together with Andrew Hoffman there, but it looks like Hoffman's gotten away with that one. We'll take another look at this and just see what might have actually happened here between Donnelly and Hoffman. As we roll this forward, we can actually see. Yeah, it looks like Hoffman's moved down on Donnelly just ever so slightly, but it's been enough to actually cause a contact. So Kate Donnelly won't be impressed with that one, but not quite sure what happened there with Hoff. He just moved down slightly. It was very, very slight, but it was enough to actually get into contact with Kate Donnelly in the 41 Simboys car, and that's created a bit of a mess at the front. And we just take one more look at it. It was just not even that big a move. He's just moved slightly down there. I think he's trying to stay in behind Craig Roffey. And Cade Donnelly trying to slip down the middle there, and there just wasn't enough room for both cars in that spot on the track, and it's piled up a few people there. So we'll go back live, and we are under caution at the moment. So Cade Donnelly obviously in the pits wanting to see if he can get some repairs done, but without fast repairs, it's a big ask. Unfortunately, he's actually missing the nose off that vehicle, and quite a sad thing to see so early in the race. As we see most of the field come in, but a few guys have actually stayed out behind the pace car to try and get a positional advantage. Being early, tyres and fuel are not really needed, but a lot of the guys come in, they will top it up. We've 7 laps in, so they just want to top it up, get a little bit more of a run, and hopefully keep it green on this next stanza of the race. But while they are behind the pace car, we'll take a quick ad break. We'll be back in just a minute.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Welcome back to Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. This is round 7 of the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series, brought to you by Everything Simulated, Inside Lane Productions, and streamed through Quasi Esports. Steve Hoppin in the commentary box. I didn't do an intro earlier. We got Kobe Jordan from Inside Lane Productions pushing the buttons, giving us great pictures. And we are under caution on lap 8 of 100. And we had a couple of guys stay out there. I think Andrew Hoffman stayed out, as well as Liam Logan, who is sitting in the box seat at the moment for the restart. He'll control the field when we go green. And I think we lost 1 or 2 in that incident. Cade Donnelly from Simboys, number 41, being one of them. And his teammate, Gary Wellman in the 45 Mustang, sits on the front row alongside Liam Logan for this restart. The lights are out on the truck, and the pace truck will pull off the circuit in just a minute as we come around towards the front straight, or the tri-oval. I personally think that's a silly term for it, but that's what it's called. When I hear tri-oval, I think of Pocono, because that's 3 corners. But it's what the front stretch is actually known as the truck does pull off, and Liam Logan will control the cars up until he gets the green flag. And Barney, the flag marshal, will wave it, and away they go. Gary Wellman goes with him and gets a pretty good start, pulls out to about a car length in front, but he's on the outside, so he's at a slight disadvantage there. Liam Logan holds that inside line with Andrew Hoffman right in behind him, and here comes Aidan Schulz right down through the middle. He wants that spot, and he's going to actually fight for it. And he's in the GSRC Flash Graphics car, number 52 Mustang, and puts himself just noses ahead of Gary Wellman and puts himself in first place. So at the moment we've got Schulz, Wellman, Logan, Hoffman, Matson, Sanchez, McKenzie, Maxfield, Roffey and Nan Curvis is your top 10. And so we've got a fair old mix of both Holdens and Fords there, as well as the teams. Not too many teams running 1-2 at the moment. We've got McKenzie in between Sanchez and Maxfield. So all looking good at the moment. They go about 4 wide there at the moment, up that back straight. Schulz continues to lead from Wellman. Andrew Hoffman has moved up into third, and Liam Logan dropped back to fourth. And then he's got Darren McKenzie on his outside. McKenzie decides to go to the inside. These guys swapping positions and inside and outside makes me a little bit nervous that something's going to happen. It was very, very easy on that first incident when 2 cars just touched, and Kate Donnelly paid the price for that. But at the moment, they're fairly spread out. It's a big, wide, open track, this one. Same as Michigan, same length, pretty much the same layout. It's virtually a copy of Michigan as far as I'm aware. And so we've got some good racing going here, 3 and 4 wide throughout the field. As Darren McKenzie makes a big move and up to second behind Aiden Schulz, but leaves, and Hoffman moves up and takes a spot away from Gary Wellman, who's dropped back. And he's got Liam Logan on the outside behind him. So that outside line is starting to collect quite a few cars. You've got McKenzie, Hoffman, Wellman, Logan, and on the inside of Logan is Todd Maxfield. And Maxfield comes up on the back of, I think that's Wade Sheedy. And Wade's sitting about mid-track at the moment. And Maxfield sitting somewhere in between him and Liam Logan on the outside. And you can see from the front of Todd Maxfield's car, that's the back of Wellman's car in there as he steps onto the outside near the wall, right in front of Liam Logan. And we've actually had a positional change, but that's going to change again now. McKenzie did take the lead away from Aiden Schulz, but Aiden's dropped down from behind McKenzie as these two are going to battle again side by side. So McKenzie will take the lead back from Schulz again. So a lot of positional changes here. As you see, Wade Sheedy coming down. He wants a slice of this. And Andrew Hoffman on the inside line there as they run 3 wide through the turn. And I think Hoffman's just got his nose in front there, side by side with McKenzie, who has Schulz right in behind him. A little bit of a tap there from Schulz as he changes position, goes around to the outside of Darren McKenzie. So a little bit of rubberness racing going on there, folks. 4 wide at the front. 4 wide. Wade Sheedy moves down a little bit on Andrew Hoffman, and then he moves back to mid-track, and Aiden Schulz makes a big move from mid-track down to in front of Andrew Hoffman. So we've got them 2 by 2 now as Darren McKenzie drops in behind Wade Sheedy on the outside and gives him a good push and trying to get him to the front. They're side by side with Aiden Schulz and Andrew Hoffman. These two are going to come together if they're not careful. There's a lot of this going on at the front. Fair bit of rubberness racing, and that's good for the series. Lots of action. And I can see Adam Ariel has actually made a big move as he come up in behind Todd Maxfield on the outside. Wade Sheedy's opened up a gap back to Aiden Schulz, who's now dropped in behind Darren McKenzie on the outside. A lot of positional swapping around here at the moment at the front of the field. Just when these guys seem to start to spread out a little bit, they bunch up again, and all of a sudden we're running 3 and 4 wide. And it's a great track for it. Beautiful track, great track to race on. It can be a little bit hard on tyres if you don't get your line right, but up on the outside is usually the best place as far as tyres are concerned. But 100 laps, they've got 3 sets of tyres, so they'd still be on their first set. They've got 2 up their sleeve as we go to lap 16 of 100. Darren McKenzie again giving a real good push to Wade Sheedy as Wade in that 0-3 Commodore continues to lead this from McKenzie, Wellman, Schulz, Maxfield, Ariel, Logan, Hoffman, Matson and Sanchez rounds out your top 10 with Nankervis in the Everything Simulated Valve Esports car sitting in 11th. Fantastic action here from Auto Club Speedway in California. And Aiden Schulz again back up into second place. Gets himself ahead of Darren McKenzie on the outside there. And he's got Wellman and Maxfield, Ariel and Logan right in behind him. Although Logan's a couple of car lengths back. Andrew Hoffman just inside of them. somewhere around mid-track, but sitting in 7th position. As Schulz again drops back a little bit. Wade Sheedy still keeps his nose in front from Darren McKenzie, and then Gary Wellman behind him. Todd Maxfield looks like he's going to make a move up alongside Gary Wellman, his teammate. And Adam Ariel sitting behind him, just waiting for an opportunity. As Schulz drops back a few car lengths. And he's got Andrew Hoffman alongside him on the inside. McKenzie gets his nose in front of Wade Sheedy, but Wade's going to come through the turn side by side, may even get his nose back in front. But at the moment they are side by side. McKenzie does have his nose in front still. So McKenzie leads this from Sheedy, and Maxfield has moved up into 3rd place, passing his teammate Gary Wellman. So as you can see there, the field fairly spread out, running 3 and 4 wide on this this beautiful big wide track, which unfortunately is in real life looking at being remodelled to a short format, and that is an absolute criminal idea as far as I'm concerned. This is a beautiful track to run on in fast cars, and they're going to cut it down to a mile, I think. A mile or a mile and a half, not sure exactly what they're doing. I saw a map of it just yesterday or today, and really not impressed with that change. I did hear they were looking at redoing it, but I didn't know that's what they were going to do. So, unfortunate, well, oh, and we've got a big touch there. I think that was Todd Maxfield on Adam Ariel. Adam into the wall, and we've gone to caution. We're about to find out. We're going to take a look at the instant replay here at the moment. And we're just going to take a look at what might have happened here. I thought it was Adam Ariel into the wall, but I've got a feeling it might actually... No, there's Adam Ariel, and it was Aidan Schulz, actually. Oh, and that's caused all sorts of drama. Aidan Schulz has given Adam Ariel a tap, and he's gone into the wall and taken... Andrew Hoffman and Liam Logan with him. So how they got involved in that is a bit of a mystery. We'll take another look at it. We'll see where Aidan's moved left to right, then back left, and given him a tag on his right rear quarter, which has upset Adam Ariel's car. Logan's gone to go around him and contacted with Hoffman, and Hoffman's turned right into the wall, right in front of Adam Ariel, and then Logan, with nowhere to go, has T-boned Andrew Hoffman, spun and just barely missed Adam Ariel on the way through. So we're taking a look at this. This is, I think, from Adam Ariel's car. This is from Schultz's car. So you can see Chelsea down low and has moved up mid-track. It's after the incident has actually occurred. So there's Logan running down around the outside, and you can see Aidan Schulz there behind Adam Ariel. He's gone to the outside, and then for some reason has decided to go back left, which he does right about here. As they come through the turn, he's actually dropped it down to mid-track, and he follows Adam Ariel through the turn, goes back to the outside again, which is a traditional line. And then has moved down in there. And you'll see just here somewhere, he's down low, goes back up high, and there goes left and tags Adam Ariel, which is what has actually started that and brought the caution flag out. And that's involved Liam Logan and Andrew Hoffman in that as well, unfortunately. Very sad to see. Andrew Hoffman on a good run there at the moment, but he's always Johnny on the spot with that, and running at the front has not actually helped with his problem of actually coming together with people through no fault of his own. And we'll go to a quick break. We are at Fontana, California in the Oz Oval Series Round 7. We're under caution. We'll be back in just a moment. Stick around.
You went, you served, and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallInVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service interests and hobbies. FallInVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallInVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallInVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
Welcome back to Fontana, California for round 7 of the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series, and brought to you by Everything Simulated, Inside Lane Productions, and streamed through Quasi Esports. This is Steve Hoppin on the mic and Kobe Jordan on the buttons for Inside Lane Production as we go green, and Gary Wellman sees them away with Darren McKenzie on the outside. And Wade Sheedy in behind Gary Wellman on that inside row, and coming back from a caution that saw a couple of guys with some damage to take care of. I don't know whether Andrew Hoffman actually dropped out altogether on that, but he was T-boned by Liam Logan, had nowhere to go after the cars got all sorts of out of shape. Gary Wellman opens up a fairly decent lead there. Wade Sheedy goes with him, but he's a couple of car lengths behind. And then there's a couple of car lengths gap back to third place of Todd Maxfield, who's having a pretty tidy run tonight, actually. Thought he must have had a few less beers before he jumped in the server tonight, I'd say, by the look of it. And he's driving fairly steady out there, and he's got the eyes on, so. He's up behind Wade Sheedy at the moment, chasing him down, who's gone and taken the lead away from Todd Maxfield's teammate Gary Wellman in the 45 green Mustang. Darren McKenzie down the side of Gary Wellman wants to take a spot away from him as well. So Gary Wellman under siege at the moment, and he's got Peter Matson in behind him, Darren McKenzie, and Matson's going to go with him. And just looking to see who else is actually there. I think that's Andrew Hoffman still in the race. Just taking a look back. No, it's Paul Drady. Paul Drady in that plain car, and then Aidan Schulz, and then I think there's two of the Everything Simulated car. No, one of the Everything Simulated cars, which will obviously be. Jamie Nankervis, and he's battling with Steve McClintock at the moment. As Wade Sheedy continues, just got to move my headset a little bit. Sound keeps changing on me. Wade Sheedy side by side with Darren McKenzie now. He's been leading it. Todd McKenzie wants a piece of this, and he's looking at going down in between them and splicing between. But he's jumped in behind Darren McKenzie now, and the three of them are up on the outside. McKenzie's thinking about a move down the inside of Wade Sheedy and takes Todd Maxfield with him, and then Aidan Schulz in behind him. We've got a back marker here at the moment, a lap vehicle. That looks like Andy Barber, who for some reason has actually gone down a couple of laps. We'll take a look at what actually happened on a replay. And this is what happened to Andy Barber. We're just trying to figure out why he went a lap down. He must have had to pit. and was in there for repairs or something, but I'm not seeing anything happen to him at the moment. He's all on his own there. Unless he got mixed up with a couple of cars at the rear of the field during that last incident. Not really seeing anything, so no explanation as to what happened to Andy, but he's gone a lap down, so he must have been in the pits for an extended period of time. Darren McKenzie now leads round 7 on lap 28 of 100. And he leads from Wade Sheedy, Todd Maxfield, Aidan Schulz and Gary Wellman. Peter Matson in behind them with Paul Drady, Jamie Nankervis, Steve McClintock and Noddy Tompkins up into the top 10. Noddy finishing, I think it was 5th last week, or the week before, sorry, at Indianapolis. He scored a 5th place there, top 5, which got him some good points for the championship. As Aidan moves in behind Andy Barber. So Andy out of sync with the rest of the field there at the moment, as he's a lap down, I believe. Aidan Schultz, a little bit of a tag on the back of Todd Maxfield's car, and he's actually into the wall, but we are still under green. No caution from that. Todd managed to catch it off the wall, and I think Aidan's given him a little bit of a tap there, and it's on the right on the left rear quarter. So yes, Aidan giving it a fair old push tonight. Not afraid to swap some paint as Todd Maxfield right about there. Yeah, a little bit out of the ordinary there, and I guess that'll get looked at in the post-race review. So we'll let that process take care of itself as we continue to call the race. As Wade Sheedy continues to lead this, just nosed ahead of Darren McKenzie, who has the lap car of Andy Barber in behind him, and then Aidan Schultz around mid-track, and he's being followed by Gary Wellman, Peter Matson, Jamie Nankervis, Paul Drady, and Phil Butler back in that Cobra livery after running a different one last week or the week before. And completely threw me. I had no idea who it was in the car. He was actually running the Sprayton Cider livery, and he's back in the Cobra livery this week. So running 3 and 4 wide easily here at Auto Club in Fontana, California for round 7 of the Oz Oval V8 Supercars. Brought to you by Inside Lane Productions, everything simulated, and streamed through Quasi Esports on YouTube. And just taking a look at the socials at the moment, but we've got John Simpson in there, and John is from GSRC. G'day, John. And he's looking pretty good in that Flash Graphics paint, and he's not afraid to share it with some of the other cars out there. So he's wanting everybody in the same livery by the looks of it. He's just trying to rub it off on everybody else's paint. So we'll see how that goes. But rubbing's racing. I don't mind a bit of rubbing, and unless there's a protest, we'll see what the race review committee does about some of these bumps and tags into the wall. But at the moment, and good day, John. He's actually seen that. So we'll take a look back at what's happening at the front of the field as Aidan is making a move on Wade Sheedy. Andy Barber still out of place there, but trying to keep out of the way. Darren McKenzie is effectively leading this race, and Aidan is making a move up on him as Andy Barber goes up behind Darren McKenzie, and Aidan gives the wall a bit of a touch. That'll wash a little bit of speed off. Jamie Nankervis comes down the inside and drops in behind Aidan Schulz at the moment. So Darren McKenzie continues to lead this one from Schulz, Nankervis, Sheedy, Drady, Wellman, Butler, Maxfield, Roffey and Matson. We are on lap 35 of 100. Sorry folks, had to take a bit of a mouth of water. I'm getting very dry here at the moment. And we've had two incidents to this point, and we've lost a couple of people. Kate Donnelly and possibly Jerry Walters. So Jerry must have got mixed up in one of those incidents we had earlier, and I hadn't actually noticed the 63 car get caught up in that, but Jerry Walters currently 6 laps down, and Richie Sanchez 7 laps down, so he must have been caught up in something, or he's been in the pits for an extended period with repairs. I'm not quite sure what the situation might be for Richie Sanchez and Jerry Walters. I think they're our 2 US runners tonight, as Derek Jacobs has not made it to the round this week. So we see Wade Sheedy take the lead back from Darren McKenzie and move to the outside ahead of McKenzie, who moves to the inside of Sheedy and makes a run to take that lead back, which he manages to do. Drops across to the outside in front of Sheedy, and then we've got a slight gap back to the guys running 3 wide there, which is Nankervis, who's ahead of Schulz now, and we've still got Andy Barber trying not to interfere with anybody's races. He's a lap down at this point in time, so he's hoping to get his lap back as a lucky dog on the next caution. And with that 38 of 100 out of the way, there's a long way to go, so I'd say there will unfortunately be another caution, so Andy might get his wish. He's just got to actually keep doing what he's doing and keep himself in a position to be the first guy 1 lap down. Sitting in 21st position at the moment, that's Andy Barber. As we go on board behind Darren McKenzie, with Jamie Nankervis now up to 3rd and looking to make it 2nd, alongside Wade Sheedy. And Sheedy's not ready to let that position go yet. He's got the inside line, so he'll hold on to 2nd and try and actually get his nose in front of McKenzie, which I think he does just briefly. McKenzie will fight back on that though, and so side by side there, and Sheedy drops back just a touch side by side with Nankervis. In behind Nankervis, Aidan Schulz and Paul R. Drady, who's moved up into that top 5 there at the moment now in that plain carbon fibre car. Phil Butler sitting in there as well. And then Gary Wellman in behind them with Tony Roffey, Noddy Tompkins up to 9th, and Shane Roffey. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute. Stick around.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, Our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, everything simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Welcome back to Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing, brought to you. And we've got an incident on track as soon as we come back from an ad. And Aidan Schills has come together with, it looks like, Paul Drady. Not quite sure how it happened. I saw the two of them go up into the wall, but don't know who initiated the contact there. And Schills has actually lost the front of his Mustang. And it looks, Paul's come down onto Aidan, moves back away. Aidan's moved up the track and straight into Paul Drady. So unfortunate there. And he's just gotten completely, both cars out of control, fishtailing. And there's Paul Drady into the wall. Aidan loops it, heads to the wall, but Paul Drady's in the way. And then I think we've got one of the Everything Simulated cars, 129, which I think, no, it's 023 of Shannon. I think it's Shannon Wright, the owner of Everything Simulated. Very unfortunate. He was having a nice quiet run, minding his own business, having a stroll, and got mugged. So very unfortunate there for Shannon Wright. But I'm not quite sure whether he's got any real damage out of that. We'll just have to wait and see. Paul Drady's in the pits at the moment looking to repair damage, but I've got a feeling Aidan Schills may have way too much damage, and he might have put that behind the wall at this point. So I was just about to say I'm sorry about the extra ad break, folks, but the old body's just giving up on me at the moment, and the shoulders, the legs, the whole lot is not in a real good state. So, yep, that's the reason for that ad break. And as soon as we came back from it, we got some action. Maybe we should have stayed on the ad break, Kobe. Might have been better off. But there we see Darren McKenzie, who is listed as leading this. We'll wait and see who actually stayed out on track. I don't know whether anybody did at this point. But McKenzie into the pits. And Peter Matson listed as second, but he's dropping down, so he must be in the pits as well. Adam Malone, I believe, is out on track because he's jumped to the top of the order. As we see Phil Butler coming out of the pits. McKenzie, Adam Malone is in the pits now. So Phil Butler gets out and takes the lead of this race. So he'll be in charge of the field when the pace truck pulls off. And he's got Jamie Nankervis in the number 8 Everything Simulated Valve Esports car right behind him. So the 067 of Bill Butler at the front. And he'll take his spot on the front row behind the pace truck. Now we've got two lapped cars here, I believe. That's Chris Hoffman and Andy Barber. Now, Andy will be waiting for a lucky dog or a wave around. At this point, if he hasn't gone through yet, I'm guessing he's going to get a wave around because he is a lap down. And there he goes, and he gets his lap back. We don't know whether Chris Hoffman actually got one as well. He should have, because he's in the way of the leaders, and it looks like, yes, Chris Hoffman has also been given a wave around and by the race officials, so he'll actually pull his lap back as well. So that will put, it'll put Andy Barber back on the lead lap. And we've got Darren McKenzie in behind Phil Butler at this stage, with Wade Sheedy on the outside. Wade not going to put the knockers on him. And hit him with the curse of the black jelly bean, because he won't be too happy about that, because he's having a pretty good run at the moment, but I think I've probably just jinxed him just saying that. But we see Adam Ariel coming up in to take his place at rear of field after that incident earlier where he was actually having a good run, sitting up inside the top 5 or 6. So Phil Butler will lead the field away when the pace truck pulls off into the pits. And a little bird tells me Aidan Schulz is still out. He is. And he's got the nose back on that car, so that's a miracle. He must have the Pope in his pit crew. And he's given the hand wave to the front of the Mustang and made it look like nothing ever happened. Very strange. And an absolute shocker by Phil Butler. He was caught sleeping there very badly, and Nankervis have taken advantage of it, as does McKenzie. So Darren McKenzie up into second. Phil Butler dropping like a stone through the field. There's Wade Sheedy, Peter Matson, and looks like Tony Roffey in the 85 car take advantage of whatever's going on with Phil Butler there at the moment. He's just dropped like a stone in a pond. So Darren McKenzie now go back to the lead of this one with Jamie Nankervis behind him and Wade Sheedy. And something we've been seeing all race, and they're going 3 wide now. Peter Matson, Noddy Tompkins in behind them. And there's Peter Matson and Tony Roffey also on the outside in those other 2 yellow cars. So Noddy Tompkins up to 4th at this point. Yeah, I know. So Nankervis takes the lead from Wade Sheedy on this one as McKenzie drops back in behind Sheedy. And then Noddy Tompkins up to 4th. Tony Roffey in 5th at the moment, battling side by side with Phil Butler in that Cobra Mustang. Todd Maxfield in behind him. And we're under caution. So not quite sure what might have happened there. We'll take a look at it in a moment. And I think that's Liam Logan and Chris Hoffman. We don't know whether these guys are involved in something that's happened or not. We're just taking a look to see if we can... Oh! Liam Logan, terrible move, straight down. Yeah, there's drama in front. Logan was actually, it looks like he was trying to avoid something, but he's pulled straight down in front of Chris Hoffman. So poor old Chris in the wars there. So what has actually happened here? Now this is in front of Liam Logan and Chris Hoffman. And I'm not really sure what's actually taken place here. Adam Malone and Aidan Schulz again. It looks like Aidan's come down on Adam Malone and turned him. So things looking pretty rough in race review for Aidan Schulz from what we can see at the moment. For what's actually taken place in this race. As we go to lap 51 of 100 and see Wade Sheedy pulling into the pits under caution. And for anybody not aware, a little bit of FYI, those flashing lights means he has the pit speed limiter on. V8 supercars have a pit speed limiter which they can enable, and it means they don't get a penalty for speeding in the pits. NASCARs do not have such a device. So you don't see that generally with NASCARs, but as you can see, all the supercars with those headlights flashing, and from behind you'll see flashing lights there too, and that's because they've actually got the pit speed limiter on, and as he crosses the line here at the green cone, he turns it off and you see the lights stop flashing. So anybody not familiar with what that was, now you know. So a little bit more education for you on what's going on in the series with these vehicles. So Wade comes out of there. Aiden is going to pit. That car looks like it's fairly well beat up. As we hit lap 52 of 100. And that's certainly been in the wars tonight, that Mustang. And the biggest thing I think Aiden needs to worry about at this point is his incident points. The first penalty comes out for 17 incident points, and then every 5 after that until 37. So with the incidents that he's been in, I'd say he must be getting... Oh, that was a bit rough. And that might even be an unsafe pit exit, but that's an iRacing penalty if he gets one. So we'll see what happens in race review for Aiden Schultz tonight, but he's had a bit of a rough one tonight and made a lot of contact with a lot of cars, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this pans out. As far as his pit exit there goes, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't get a black flag for that, and that'll probably be a stop-go. I think it's a stop-go penalty for an unsafe pit exit if iRacing pings him for it at all. So we see Jamie Nankervis now leading from Darren McKenzie, Noddy Tompkins up into third. Very well done there, Noddy. And Tony Roffey, Peter Matson, Jared Williams, also from the Everything Simulated Valve Esports team. He's up in there as well with Wade Sheedy, Gary Wellman, Phil Butler and Todd Maxfield. And I think the lights are out on the truck, so Jamie Nankervis will lead the field away any moment now. And this is going to be interesting because Darren McKenzie is a good starter, so Jamie Nankervis is going to need to be on the ball here. And he's really going to have to make sure that he gets a good start, or Darren McKenzie will absolutely take advantage of what happens. So let's see what happens. We know Phil Butler was leading before and got a very poor start, but not so with Jamie Nankervis. He gets a good start. McKenzie goes with him, although just a little bit off Jamie's pace. Jamie gets the better of it. Opens up a couple of car lengths over Darren McKenzie, who's in front of Noddy Tompkins, Tony Roffey and Peter Matson. And then we've got Jared Williams on the outside in the other Valve Esports Everything Simulated car. Wade Sheedy moves across to the outside in front of Williams. And you've got Gary Wellman in behind him with Todd Maxfield, Phil Butler, and then Troy Mortensen, who we haven't heard much from tonight. Troy just sort of quietly chipping away at everything. And as far as we know, keeping out of trouble, getting the job done. Tristan Koch in there behind him with Shane Roffey as well. But Darren McKenzie continues to lead this. He's taken the lead back from Jamie Nankervis, I mean. So Nankervis back to second. Noddy Tompkins still holds third from Peter Matson and Wade Sheedy. So a great drive from Noddy Tompkins there. And McKenzie still leading from Nankervis. Then you've got Tompkins and Tony Roffey going at it side by side with Wade Sheedy and Peter Matson in behind them. And Williams, Wellman and Maxfield. And we're just going to take a listen to the sound of these cars for just a moment, so crank it up a little bit. across the line to start yet another lap, 57 of 100. And you got Mackenzie and Sheedy still side by side. They've been battling like this for most of the race. Sheedy takes the lead back, then Mackenzie moves down to the inside. We've been watching this happen for so long tonight. And Mackenzie back to the outside again. Yeah, sorry folks, just a little bit distracted there for the moment. As we've got Nan Curvis and Mackenzie leading the race there at the moment with Wade Sheedy in behind them. And we'll just take a look at the socials for a moment. And we've got Matty Raymond in there. G'day to Matt Raymond. Ratty May, how you doing, buddy? And yeah, cheering on Noddy Tompkins at the moment. That's his teammate. And Noddy's having a pretty good run at the moment, so looking good there. Don't want to jinx him, but he's having a good run, so hopefully he can keep that going, keep it clean. As I said earlier, Noddy scored a 5th at Indianapolis, and if he can keep this clean and keep out of trouble, he may very well do it again tonight or better. So we'll see how it goes. He's dropped back a few spots at the moment, but it's only still early, plenty of laps to go. We've still got about 40 laps to go as we are about to click over lap 60. So with about 40 laps to go in the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series. This is round 7 from Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. Brought to you by Everything Simulated, Inside Lane Productions, and streaming through Quasi Esports. We'll take a bit of a break now. We'll take in an ad and pay some bills while we've got some great racing going on screen and let you enjoy it. Back in a minute.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, we've done it again. We're about to come back from the ad break, and of course the commentator's curse has kicked in. So I'm going to have to buy Noddy a case of beer now because I think I might have jinxed him. That was Noddy Tompkins involved in a little bit of an accident while we were on an ad break so that I could take some painkillers and get myself sorted out and squared away. And we're going to take a look at what might have actually happened, and oh my goodness, that's that number 52 car again. As we take a look, there's Aidan Schulz on the outside, Noddy Tompkins on the inside, and as we let it roll forward, Aidan comes all the way down onto Noddy. That's inexplicable, to be perfectly honest. And then Troy Mortensen, with nowhere to go, manages to not do himself too much harm, giving Aidan a bit of a push across the infield. Shane Roffey has become collateral damage and all that. Yeah, so that's absolute shame. And yeah, you got to feel for Noddy Tompkins there. He was having such a good run. Even dropping back a couple of spots and keeping his nose clean has not actually helped him, because he's ended up being a big victim in all of that, unfortunately. And I'd say his race is run. He's got a fair bit of damage on that car. So unfortunately, on lap 64 of 100 at Auto Club Speedway, Fontana, California, this is round 7 of the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series, with Tristan Koch up the front. Now, Tristo, probably, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he didn't pit under caution. He probably doesn't need to. Nope, Tristo's going in now, so he'll relinquish that front spot. But should pick up a point for leading a lap behind the pace car. So we've got Wade Sheedy, I think will actually go back to the lead. Todd Maxfield, but it's all going to get mixed up here with the pit stops and people rejoining. So, but Wade Sheedy definitely sits out the front there at the moment, and Todd Maxfield will take up the other front row position for the restart. Darren McKenzie sitting in behind them. So the lights are still on the pace truck, I believe. I can't quite tell. No, the lights are off, which means we're going to be going green. I was going to pull somebody up and have a quick word, but we're going to have to wait until next time. So apologies to Troy Mortensen, because this was going to be your 15 minutes of fame, but we'll have to wait and see if I get a chance to speak to you later on in the broadcast. So yeah, Wade Sheedy will lead them away with Todd Maxfield on the outside and Darren McKenzie and Phil Butler on the second row. The truck should pull off here any moment now. We've got something untoward going on there. Jamie Nankervis in the number 8 Everything Simulated Valve Esports car, just trying to make some space there for whoever that is behind him. Steve McClintock, I think, actually. So not quite sure exactly what was going on there. But Tony Roffey sitting in there as we go green, and Wade Sheedy blasts away, gets a brilliant start and opens up a slight lead there, but the boys are catching him and closing that gap that he opened up. It was about 4 or 5 car lengths there at one point. And McKenzie side by side with him again as they battle for this lead, and Todd Maxfield right in behind him. Phil Butler, Troy Mortensen, looks like that car doesn't have a whole lot of damage on it after coming in contact with Aidan Schulz there after that initial incident that we came through a minute ago. As we got them 3 wide now, Wade Sheedy, Darren McKenzie very close to one another, and Todd Maxfield down on the low line. Bill Butler in behind these two up high, and then Jamie Nankervis in behind him. But Todd Maxfield keeping it right down low on that, right down on that line, letting these guys battle it out on the outside near the wall. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here as McKenzie leads Sheedy. And then Phil Butler, Jamie Nankervis, Tony Roffey, Troy Mortensen, Jared Williams, Adam Ariel. Good to see Adam back up into 9th place after that incident he had earlier. And Gary Wellman back to 10th. So Gary not having a fantastic run tonight, but it could also be that he's just running a strategy. And well, I guess we'll see him battling up the front in the closing stages of the race. As Wade Sheedy gets right up in under the wing of Darren McKenzie's Mustang. McKenzie manages to pull out a little bit of a gap from him there. Maxfield still holding that inside line with Tony Roffey about a car length behind him. Phil Butler mixed up in all this and Jamie Nankervis right behind him. And Todd Maxfield gets his nose in front for the lead. Side by side with his team, not with his teammate, with Darren McKenzie from Southern Stars. And he takes the lead back from Todd Maxfield with Wade Sheedy sitting in behind, side by side with Todd Maxfield. And Phil Butler sitting there behind all this, battling with Tony Roffey for that 4th and 5th. Troy Mortensen in behind them. So Troy's having a pretty decent run there at the moment. And there's Adam Ariel in the 515 car. Looks like a comic strip. Sitting back there behind Gary Wellman as Darren McKenzie makes a move down, just getting in front of Wade Sheedy and Todd Maxfield, who are side by side. Oh, Wade Sheedy, bit of a tag on the back of Darren McKenzie's car, a bit of a love tap, and that unsettles the Mustang. But Darren McKenzie manages to catch that, and brilliant bit of driving and great catch from D-Mac in the 02 car. And Sheedy, that puts him in a good position, but Maxfield takes the lead away from Sheedy. And here comes Darren McKenzie down the inside of them with Tony Roffey in behind him. So Tony Roffey wanting a piece of this. But Wade Sheedy moves down alongside in between, and they are 3 wide there for a moment. Tony Roffey pulls up into 2nd place in that 85 road car. Todd Maxfield in behind all this with Phil Butler, Jamie Nankervis, Jared Williams and Troy Mortensen. Lap 72 of 100. Round 7 from Auto Club in Fontana, California. Brought to you by Everything Simulated, Inside Lane Productions and streaming through Quasi Esports on YouTube exclusively. Please like, subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss a piece of the action from the Oz Oval Series, V8 Oval Racing. Side by side, they're swapping some paint, a little bit of door rubbing, and it gets a little bit out of hand and the two of them get loose. And Wade Sheedy pays the price and comes off 2nd fiddle in that one. Fair bit of door banging going on, and then it just... all of a sudden, the boys got out of control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's where it went wrong. That last tap was just one tap too many, and Sheedy into the wall at the end of pit row. Takes the front off that car, and that's probably Wade's night done. I won't put money on it, but it's a pretty safe bet, I would say. So apparently he's actually driven that straight behind the wall, and that'll go on the transporter. And we are under caution. So we'll take a drink of water. We'll take another look at that. 6 taps, that's all it took. It was just that 1/6 tap, that last one. that seemed to get both cars really out of control. And then the 7th tap actually turned Wade Sheedy. So we, Shane, yeah, just look at the front of Shane Roffey's car. That's missing the front bar as well. So unfortunate for him. And while we're under caution, we're going to have a little bit of a talk to somebody. It's your 15 minutes, Mr. Troy Mortensen. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. How's
Not a
it going
bad
up
time to pull you up, mate, is it?
No, I'm just trying to get out of the pack. I'm not used to being up the front, so I'm hoping I'll pull out the back a little bit.
So you would have been sitting pretty much right in behind that when it happened there. You were a couple of car lengths back.
Yeah, I saw. I did see a bit of coming together a couple of laps earlier between Wade and D-Mac, and yeah, I was about to call out and tell the boys to settle down a bit, but I was a bit too late.
Yes, it was just a little bit of tap here, tap there, and 5 taps was fine. The 6th one actually got the guys a bit loose, and D-Mac gave him a 7th one on the rear quarter panel because he was out of control, and that's when that's the one that really finished them off. But yeah, 5 taps worked, 6 didn't, and the 7th one actually spun Wade and he went into the infield wall. So his night done and dusted, unfortunately. He was having such a strong run. How's your race going, mate? Give us your opinion on what's happening out there.
Yeah, I'm just ticking along at the back like I have been the last few weeks, and yeah, just trying to still get the hang of gear changes on corners and whatnot. I'm not too worried about my tyres.
So the tyre wear out there, what's it like? This track, if you find the right line, it's not too bad. But if you drive the wrong line, you can actually rip through them. How are yours going at the moment?
Yeah, good. I think I did 44 on that first set, and I was about 72% front right. So pushing it a bit harder now. So.
Well, we're going to go green, mate. So I'll pull you back down to where you were. Let you concentrate and get on with it. Thanks very much for talking to us, Troy Mortensen.
Yep, no worries. Cheers.
Yeah, so there you go, folks. Sorry I had to drag him back down, and it's not scrolling for me as easily as it should. But we're about to go green, and we have Jared Williams, I think, leading things, or Jamie Nankervis. And Jamie's going to run from the outside. He's opted to take that outside spot by the look of it. Oh, only because he's sitting in front. But I think Jared Williams actually is in the lead because he's in the prime spot at the moment behind the truck. So when the truck pulls off, Jared Williams will control the field to the green. As Barney, our flag marshal, will let the boys know it's time to put the hammer down. But we've got an everything simulated lockout on the front row for this restart from Valve Esports. The one of the series sponsors here, everything simulated. G'day to Shannon Wright out there, who I think had a race-ending incident earlier on. And the green flag waves about now. And Jamie Nankervis gets the better start, and a very poor start from Jared Williams, and he just gets pushed out of the way by Phil Butler. So very poor start from Jared Williams. He really paid the price for that one, and he's way back in the field now as Jamie Nankervis leads this from Todd Maxfield, who's coming up alongside, and he's going to put up a fight. And there's Andy Barber getting out of the way, so he's obviously, not on the lead lap anymore. That's at least a lap down, and he's pulled off onto the infield, so not quite sure what the problem is with Andy Barber there in the number 20 car. And across the infield, and that's very strange. He's actually taken the road course. Nope, he's come back. Yeah, so and round into the pits, and Tony Roffey's come into the pits as well. So it could be black flags, something to do with something that happened before that caution, because you can't serve black flags under caution. You can only serve them under green. So both those guys possibly got a black flag for something or other. Not aware of it at this point, but we'll see if we can find that out later on, if we get the opportunity. But back to what's happening at the front, as you've got Darren McKenzie alongside Todd Maxfield, and they're battling for first with Gary Wellman in behind him. So I said earlier that we'd see Gary back up towards the front in the later stages. And here we are on lap 79 of 100, about to click over to lap 80. And there's Gary Wellman in that 45 Mustang, who's leading the series at the moment. And he's pushing pretty hard. It's obviously he thinks it's time to do something about it. So he's off after Darren McKenzie. And then in behind him, we've got Craig Roffey, who's also sitting at the pointy end of the championship. Phil Butler down on that inside line behind Todd Maxfield. And it's all go here at the moment. Steve McClintock in that Mobile 1 Commodore, the number 016. Troy Mortenson's in there as well. And the 550 of Tristan Koch. So Tristo sitting in a pretty decent position there at the moment, but just outside the top 10. With Jamie Nankervis, who's somehow managed to slip back. But Darren McKenzie continues to lead this. And there's Jamie Nankervis on screen at the moment. So something's obviously happened here. He's pitted as well. So that's what's caused him to drop back through the field. So why he's pitted after the caution, the only thing I can assume is that there were some black flags handed out by the iRacing officials. And if we get a chance to talk to the guys later, we'll try to see if we can find out if that was the case. With 20 laps to go here at Fontana in California, Auto Club Speedway. Inside Lane Productions and Everything Simulated, bringing you this one through Quasi Esports. And that little popping sound I can hear tells me that on the screen at the moment, like, subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss out on anything. This is the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series. We're going to take a quick break while we've got some green racing happening and the boys are going hard at it, but we're going to chance it. We're going to throw our hand in the ring and see if they can keep it going. We'll be back in just a moment.
You went, you served, and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallInVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service interests and hobbies. FallInVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallInVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallInVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
Welcome back. We are at Auto Club Speedway for the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing. And although I own the series, I created the series and I run the series and I call it every week, every single time I say that what it is, I have to look up at the little overlay up the top right-hand corner of your screen, and I read it from that to make sure I don't get it wrong. I'm an old fella, what can I do? Everything's simulated. Inside Lane Productions, bringing you these, the series sponsors, through Quasi Esports on YouTube. And we've got D-Mac at the front, Darren McKenzie exerting his authority over this one again, with Todd Maxfield, who's actually having a really good run tonight, except for a couple of minor things here and there that he got caught up in. Todd's actually having a great run tonight. I don't want to put the mockers on him, but I've got to say that he's driving well tonight. And behind him is his teammate Gary Wellman, then Tony Roffey from Rogue Motorsport, and Phil Butler in behind him in 5th position. And Troy Mortensen in behind that, who we spoke to earlier, and he's pretty happy with the tyre wear and the way things are going at the moment. So let's hope he can keep that going and score himself some big points for the championship. And with 14 laps to go, just a reminder, we have 2 green-white checkers as of this round. And I'm hoping we don't need them, but it'd be nice to actually finish a race under regulation time. But we'll see how we go. The boys do get a bit push and shove there in that last lap or two, so we'll see how we go. But 2 green-white checkers should actually sort it out. And we've had 2 rounds complete under the pace car to collect the checkered flag, and I'd really hate to see that happen again. So we've gone to 2 green-white checkers at this point. This is Steve Hoppett on the mic with Kobe Jordan on the buttons tonight, providing the great pictures. And good day to Sarah Kay, who's sitting in the socials at the moment, on the YouTube live chat. Good day to you. She's watching this one as Craig Roffey gets a little bit loose there and just loses a bit of momentum in that mid-track position. But Darren McKenzie, Todd Maxfield, Gary Wellman, Phil Butler and Troy Mortensen is your top 5 at this point. And they're sort of scattered across the track at the moment. They're not really 3 wide, they're not really 4 wide, and they're not really 2 wide. They're just sort of staggered at this point. So we'll see how we go. Great view of the front of Todd Maxfield's car, his Simboys Mustang. Another Simboys Mustang in behind him, which is Gary Wellman, of course. And to the right of your screen, the 030 Rogue Sim Sports for Craig Roffey. And it's a hell of a battle there at the front at the moment, but D-Mac continues to lead. Darren McKenzie, and he's in control of this one at the moment with 12 laps to go. And the lights are on. They have been for a little while now. And Craig Roffey right up to the outside there and punching right in behind Darren McKenzie. Great move. And Gary Wellman in behind him. Todd Maxfield down to the inside line and just pops his nose in front of Darren McKenzie there for the moment. Darren's got his hands full with Craig Roffey at this particular point in time, and then Gary Wellman behind him. Todd Maxfield, Gary Wellman's teammate, on the inside, sitting about mid-track at the moment. McKenzie makes a move down to the low line, puts a couple of car lengths on Todd Maxfield, back up towards the outside wall again, but still got that 1 or 2 car lengths lead. Bill Butler and Troy Mortensen following suit, and Peter Matson in the Orbic GSRC Commodore down on that low line. And just taking a look to see where Matto is. He's 2 laps down at the moment. So he's just trying to keep his nose clean and keep out of trouble, let these boys race. And he'll be hoping to try and pull those laps back. But with 10 laps to go now, it's going to be a big ask to pull 2 laps back and get on the lead lap. But sitting just outside the top 10 at the moment for Peter Matson. So there's still points to be had in the series. Craig Roffey catches up with Darren McKenzie, and he gets about almost a car length there behind him and closes up on him. He's got Gary Wellman all over the back of him with Phil Butler in behind him, and then I think that is Jared Williams in behind there. That inside line, Todd Maxfield, Troy Mortensen, Peter Matson, and I think Steve McClintock on that inside line. And your top 10 at the moment, it's Mackenzie, Roffey, Maxfield, Wellman, Mortensen, Butler, Williams, McClintock, Adam Ariel sitting in 9th, and Shane Roffey in 10th with no front on that car. They're obviously outside of this group. And Tristan Koch, who's sitting 12th at the moment. So those positions, they don't look quite right to me. So we'll wait and see what happens when they cross the line. Because I'm not seeing Adam Ariel or Shane Roffey, but it's actually listing them as being in front of Tristan Koch, who's 12th. But there's Tristo in there, visibly in front of Ariel and Roffey. Oh, it's fixed it up. Okay. Well, you know, I'm still seeing on the overlay that it's reporting them in front of him, but it's all right. Yeah, it's quite strange. It happens from time to time. ATVO doesn't quite pick up what's going on and report it correctly, but we live with it and we work with it. D-Mac takes the lead back from Gary Wellman this time. And Wellman is up to second ahead of Craig Roffey. Pulls in between to stop Roffey from taking that second spot away from him. And Roffey right up on that rear bar, right under the rear wing of Wellman, who now moves down low and takes the lead away from Darren McKenzie. And he's under assault from Craig Roffey and Phil Butler at this point in time. So Phil Butler also having a good run there in the closing stages with 6 laps to go. And Craig Roffey all over the back of Darren McKenzie with Gary Wellman down on the inside line. I'm just going to grab a drink of water, folks. My apologies. Thirsty business, this is. So it'd be interesting to see how we go across the line in 5 laps' time. But the boys have got a lot of room to play with on this, so I'm hoping that will actually lead to a green finish in regulation time. But we're getting a bit pushy now. We got Mackenzie, Wellman, and Craig Roffey going at it, 3 wide. As Mackenzie pushes his way through and manages to just get his nose in front, and he's side by side with Craig Roffey as they come down to 4 laps to go as they cross the line. And there it is. Oh, will he catch it? Will he catch it? No. So Craig Roffey and Darren McKenzie come together. We don't go to caution. We are still green, folks. So it's Gary Wellman managing to keep out of all that. Craig Roffey, who contacted Darren McKenzie and sort of kicked off what happened there in second place. And Troy Mortensen up to third. Bill Butler is fourth. Steve McClintock fifth. Jared Williams sixth. Adam Ariel seventh. Shane Roffey eighth. Trod Maxfield 9th and Jamie Nankervis 10th, but I'm not putting a lot of stock in it because I can see Peter Matson in amongst there, but I think he's still 2 laps down. So he's actually out of order in amongst these boys at the moment. So the top 3, that's definitely correct. That is Wellman, Craig Roffey and Troy Mortensen. So we'll see what happens here. Peter Matson needs to stay a little bit lower there and give Troy Mortensen some racing room because he's 2 laps down. So Mortensen takes the high line just to give him some more space to play with and gets in front of Peter Matson. Matson's pushing pretty hard for somebody who's 2 laps down there, sitting right in behind the top 3 podium there at the moment with 2 laps to go. And I'd no problem with him going hard. I've done it myself. I've been a few laps down and pushed pretty hard because I had the pace. But he also needs to give a bit of racing room to these boys. If anything goes wrong and he actually contacts somebody, That's going to be a big no-no. So Matson needs to just hold his spot there at the moment. And we are on the last lap. We are white flag. As the boys come around, we've got Wellman against Roffey. And there we go. There's Matson making contact with Troy Mortensen. It's exactly what I was saying. He needs to give these front three some racing room. Troy Mortensen getting some contact from Peter Matson, who's 2 laps down. So he needs to actually just give a bit of racing room to these guys at the moment. I don't know whether he realises he's 2 laps down, but he is as we cross the line. And Gary Wellman takes victory. Our first repeat winner in the series in Oz Oval, V8 Supercars Oval Racing. Our first repeat winner, Gary Wellman in the 45 Simboys Mustang. And Craig Roffey second in the 030 Rogue Simsport Mustang, followed by Troy Mortensen getting on the podium. And I think that's Troy's first podium in this series, so well done to him. We'll keep an eye on this, and Gary Wellman will more than likely, we'll probably see a couple of burnouts here actually. I know Craig Roffey doesn't mind doing one, and Gary Wellman will probably, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. Troy Mortensen's going to want to celebrate this too. But nope, Mortensen straight to the pits. And there's a bit of a wiggle there from Wellman as he gets ready to spin this around. And he starts to do the burnout. So we'll take a look at Gary Wellman doing the burnout before we go to an ad break and do our post-race interviews. The unofficial results at this point: Gary Wellman first, Craig Roffey second, Troy Mortensen third, Phil Butler fourth, Jared Williams fifth. And I'm still seeing Adam Ariel 6th, Shane Roffey 7th, Jamie Nankervis 8th, Tristan Kosh 9th, Scott McClintock, not Steve McClintock, my apologies, Scotty, in 10th. 11th is Todd Maxfield, after battling at the front there for so long. Darren McKenzie, 12th, Peter Matson, and then Liam Logan, Shannon Wright in 15th, 8 laps down, 16th, Tony Roffey, Paul R. Drady, Wade Sheedy, Andy Barber in 19th, Noddy Tompkins back to 20th after running so well for the first 2/3 of the race. Aidan Schulz 21st, Adam Malone 22nd, Christopher Hoffman 23rd, through no fault of his own. He should have actually finished higher. He was having a good run. Rick Sanchez 24th, that's a shame. Andrew Hoffman 25th, Jerry Walters 26th, and Cade Donnelly 27th. He was our early casualty, unfortunately, when he came together with somebody on somewhere in the first couple of laps there on our first caution. As Wellman doing the burn, getting rid of these tyres, and he's actually worked his way down into pit lane at the moment. So we're going to take an ad break while we get the boys sorted out in the booth, and we'll do some post-race interviews. Come back in just a moment. Stick around.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like Simrigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Welcome back to round 7 of the Oz Oval V8 Supercars Oval Racing Series. And we've had a green finish with checker. No green whites tonight. And we're going to talk to our podium at the moment. It's done and dusted in the Everything Simulated Oz Oval Series round 7. Troy Mortensen, number 83. Welcome to the booth. 3rd place. You're on the podium, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for that. Yeah, I'm not used to this. Not used to being up the pointy end.
Well, I think bringing you up earlier for a chat must have brought you some luck.
Well, quite possibly, yeah. Yeah, as I said during the broadcast, I was pretty confident with my tyres, and then I started hitting that low line in the last 10 laps, and I had some pace. So I just thought, well, if I keep doing that and see where I go.
Well, you started 27th, you finished 3rd, you've run a fairly clean race, not a chance to lead any laps, but that's not really important at this point, purely because you finished 3rd, so nothing else matters, I guess.
Yeah, well, 27th to 3rd. I'm guessing that could be a bonus point, could it?
It may well be. I'll have to have a look.
Yeah, well, like as I said to Wade through the race, I was pretty fortunate to get through a lot of accidents, like threading the thread through the needle. So there'll be a few good eye openers there when I go back and watch it. So.
Yeah, no, you've done pretty well actually to avoid some of what was going on around you. At one point, there was an incident that was right smack in front of you, and you had nowhere to go, and gave Hayden Schultz a bit of a push up under his rear wing, and he headed off across the infield. So that was pretty lucky for you to get out of that without any real damage.
Yeah, I think I got a 4X for there, but I didn't know who it was to start with. But then I saw Aiden. I think he left after that, so I thought maybe it was him that I hit. But anyway, I think it was more. I think it was more a case of too much damage on the car. It was pretty beat up, and I think that's why he put it behind the wall. Yeah, right at the end, my heart almost skipped a beat, buddy. Did you mess your shorts at all when Peter Matson gave you a bit of a door rab? Yes and no. I was just saying earlier, I wasn't too sure if I was behind Craig or Gary, but I was pretty confident that if I could help push along, because we were both down the bottom line. And then when we come out of a corner there, Peter came down and hit the door, and it slowed me up a little bit. But no, I just kept on going, and by that time I was getting a bit shaky because, like I said, I'm not used to being up here. So, but anyway, I managed to finish without crashing. So.
Right, the adrenaline rush must be worth it. I mean, that's 3rd place. That's some handy points in the championship as well.
Yeah, well, that's the goal. After last week, I was pretty confident for last week, but that ended up being a bit of a disaster. So yeah, hopefully it picks me up there, and yeah.
It's unfortunate what happened to your teammate though. Wade actually had a pretty rough exit, getting turned just not that far from the finish, unfortunately. So they ended his night. But yeah, we'll see him back next week, and hopefully he can repeat the effort without the way he finished. So, anybody you want to give a shout out to, mate?
Yeah.
Well, you got a chance.
Yeah, might as well. Wade, obviously, teammate of mine, and at Platinum Racing, and just for yourself, really, putting on this, and just getting to race with all the guys in here. It's good fun.
And of course, our sponsors, Everything Simulated, Inside Lane Productions.
Oh, yep, them too. Yeah, so yeah, Inside Lane Productions. Cheers, Kobe. What was the other one? Everything
simulated.
And then just my two personal ones, Pingaring Ags Solutions. Just a little shop here in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of WA. And Macintosh and Son for letting me run their logos on their on my cars as well. So yeah.
Name the town, mate. Where are you?
A little town called Pingaring.
Pingaring.
Yeah, so if you sort of it's 50k south of Wave Rock in Hyden, which is a bit of a tourist attraction, even though it's just a rock that looks like a wave. But,
Oh, I know Wave Rock. I know of it.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where it's located.
yeah,
I know of it, and yeah, I've had relatives that have actually gone there and had photos taken. So yeah.
yeah. Well, I was one of them. I was a tourist there a couple of weeks ago, so.
No worries.
But yeah, so basically, that's basically a line in between. If you draw a line between Perth and Kalgoorlie, we're sort of in the middle of that. So yeah, so we're a fair way out in the middle of nowhere. So.
Okay, thanks very much, and congratulations again, Troy Mortensen, from 27th to 3rd, finishing on the podium. Good fistful of points and well driven tonight. Kept it clean, kept out of trouble, and managed to avoid getting caught up in anybody else's incidents. So well done to you, and we'll catch up with you next week, mate. Congrats.
And just quickly, just congratulations to Craig and Gary as well. That was really fun. Really enjoyed it the last few laps. So, yeah, congratulations, guys.
No worries at all. Thanks, Troy. Thanks for speaking to us tonight. Second place tonight, Mr. Craig Roffey. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Surprised to actually be here after the first incident on lap 4 or something. I thought I was out, but no, I just soldiered on, did some laps, got damage fixed every caution, so I just stayed in there, and here we are.
Start calling you Lazarus, mate. Rising from the dead after some of these early incidents you've had in a couple of the rounds, and then you've been at the end.
I've been through the walls for a little bit, but
you started fourth and finished second. It was unfortunate about getting caught up in that early one. You led 3 laps all up, but you were at the pointy end for pretty much most of the night.
Oh, I wouldn't say most of the night. I'd say only the last. Yeah, whenever the last caution was, got everything fixed. And
okay,
then,
I thought you were up there for a fair whack of that. I'm talking about top 10-ish.
Nah, mate, I was out of top 10 for the whole race.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, there you go. Too many
Yeah.
green cars in the series, mate. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, no, it's good. Go
Yeah,
green.
put a new rule in for season 2 and limit the number of green cars.
Do what you got to do. Still won't.
All right. How did you actually find the race otherwise? I mean, it was obviously if you were caught up in that early incident, you had to fight your way back through the field. There was a fair bit of stuff going on around you.
Yeah, I had no pace after that first incident, so I was just doing what I could to just avoid the carnage, pretty much, and yeah, get my damage fixed, and that's pretty much it. I was hoping for a top 15, so to get here on the podium, yeah, it's good. Feels good.
Well, it's certainly going to do good things for you as far as the championship is concerned, points wise.
Yeah, that's my main goal, to beat Gaz. But he got me tonight. That was epic. The last couple of laps.
There's only one way to catch and beat somebody, and that's to stay with them, and that's what you're doing in the championship at the moment.
That's it. Yeah, a bit unfortunate with Mackenzie. I just had a look at the replay. Yeah, 2 green cars coming in together, and then takes out a blue car, which does happen.
It's unfortunate,
yeah,
but it does happen, and Darren's been around long enough to know. I'm not saying that he would have been smiling about it at the time, but yeah, when it all dust settles, I'm sure he'll understand that these things do happen. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
He led a bit of a charmed life at Daytona last week by missing most of that stuff himself. So yeah. Anybody you want to give shout outs to, mate?
Just the road fellas. Big ups for Big T, Tony. That's my dad. Yeah, I saw my standings. He was second at one point, so it's awesome for him. And then he got caught up in an incident, and then he went through, I don't know, the pit cone or something, and then he got a black flag, and then he got kicked out. So
There was a few guys got black flags actually, and after that last caution, I think we had about 3 or 4 cars pitting, and I wasn't completely sure why, but black flags was the only thing we could think of.
yeah, I had a black flag. I had to stop and go.
And what relation are you to Shane?
That's
Is
my
he-
older brother. I'm the youngest
Older-
of 3.
Older brother, okay. Just so that we know what the what it all is, because he actually had a pretty good run tonight too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, definitely.
Despite having no nose on the car, I think he still finished somewhere in the top 10.
Yeah, he got P7.
Yeah,
so,
pretty
Tony's the
good
old
run.
man, and yeah, Shane's brother.
All right. Look, congratulations, mate. Chicagoland next week. What's your
Bring it
thoughts?
on.
Yep, bring it on.
Yeah,
Happy
bring it
with
on.
that?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
Yep, no
I love
worries.
the V8s on ovals.
Back to the 1.5 milers next week.
Yep, sounds good. I'm in.
We've still got Chicagoland, Las Vegas, Kentucky, and Kansas yet to come. So that's going to be an interesting run of tracks. And we'll catch up with you next week at Chicagoland. Thanks very much, Craig Roffey, and congratulations on second tonight.
Thanks, mate. And yeah, cheers for all the broadcasting and all the competitors coming out. It's awesome to see. And let's start in the future. Let's try and keep it a bit clean. There was a couple of dicey decisions out there, but anyway, move on. We'll see you next week.
No worries at all. Thanks, Craig. Thanks for supporting the series and being here. And our winner tonight. Congratulations, Mr. Gary Wellman, our series leader at the moment. And I think you've just put your stamp on it again, mate.
Yeah, cheers, Steve. Yeah, good to get it done again. And yeah, I think this sort of races is probably just staying away from the carnage. I think I've got 0 incident points, and yeah, missing all those wrecks. There's a bit of luck involved, but sometimes I think you just got to pick where it's going to happen and try and anticipate it and not be there when it does. So it seemed to work okay tonight.
Well, after 6 winners from 6 rounds, round 7 we get our first repeat winner. So that's a good thing in itself.
Yeah, for sure. It's I suppose it had to happen sometime. It's bit of a roll of the dice who that might have been. There's some pretty good drivers there, and yeah, it's just sometimes things just go right on the night, and it sort of did tonight. I was just missed all that carnage.
Somewhere around mid-race, you seem to drop right back in the field a bit. Was that a little bit of a strategy thing, or was there a reason for that? Because I remember saying at the time, well, come the last 20 laps, we'll see him at the front pushing again. I wasn't sure whether, though, it was because you were just like trying to avoid trouble, keeping out of other people's way, or whether it was a conscious decision on your part.
Yeah, a bit of that when you see it 2 and 3 wide, and you sort of see he's up there and not knocking anyone, but you kind of get a feel something might unload, and yeah, you try and not be in the pack when that happens. Also, there was another. I think I was right for fuel. I think I dived in on the second caution for fuel, and I was just going to make it to the end. So I'm thinking I'll save fuel here for a bit and just save the car and see how that unfolds. But I still had another set of tyres as well, so I was sort of thinking even if there was a late caution, I was going to pit and grab that other set of tyres to freshen them up. But the old tyres still hung on pretty good at the end there.
Well, the beauty of Auto Club is if you drive on the right line, it's not as hard on tyres as it could be. If you drive like I do, you chew through them pretty fast.
yeah. No, I was kind of wishing I had them, but you just got to, like say, keep the heat out of them and drive a good line and it seemed to work okay. Like I say, I could have done with the fresh ones, but got it done on the old ones, which is good. And I don't know what the others are doing with tyres either, but I know Craig likes to save a set, so I didn't want him to sort of jump in front of me if there was a caution at the end there.
Well, I spoke to Troy Mortensen on one of the cautions late in the second half of the race, and he was actually pretty happy with his tyre wear. He'd looked after him, and that was all working out for him, so he was pretty happy with tyres as well. So but that pretty much speaks for itself, with 2 of the guys that are saying they were happy with their tyre wear finished on podium. So that's, and Craig was probably in the same boat, although I didn't ask him about it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I've been watching Craig the last few weeks. He's had some battles. He keeps popping up at the end though somehow. So I don't know. He's doing well to
you got
at the point. He's had some
fairly early.
Yeah, so no, good on him. He's perseveres and gets it done, and he pops his head back up the end. And I thought he might even have me tonight too. So
Perseverance and consistency is pretty much the key to picking up points in the series and sitting at the in the top end of it, and that's pretty much what's happening at the moment. And now that we've got 7 rounds out of the way, we're starting to get our repeat winners, and we've got some new guys on the podium and stuff. So it's starting to really shape the series for the last 5-6 rounds to go, which I'll get your opinion on. We go to mile and a halvers for the next few rounds.
Yeah, I know Craig's good at those. I don't know, Chicago, man. I like Las Vegas, actually, and Kentucky. They're good tracks.
Kansas, Kentucky, and I think we've got Nashville Super Speedway after that before we go and finish at Talladega.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. No, it should be good fun, and we get plenty of numbers in the series now. So it's when you getting high 20s, it's always good to get a podium because you sort of earned it with these ones.
Well, we're getting good numbers in the series every week. We had 33 starters at Daytona last week, but Super Speedway you usually get a few more. But we've been getting between 22 and 33 each round. I think we had 24 or something tonight. Well, actually, no more than that because Troy started 27. So we had 27 or 28 or something. I think he started at the back, so 27. Yeah. So pretty good stuff. So you're looking forward to Chicagoland next week?
Yeah, I'll rock up and see what happens. Yeah, it's I can't remember that track too much, but yeah, we'll get in and see how it goes. It's pretty easy to pick it up with these cars anyway. They're not as not quite as technical as sort of NASCAR things, but see how we go, I suppose.
All right, no worries. You want to give a shout out to anybody while you got the chance?
I think my partner Alana, usually give her a shout out if I get a win. So yeah, she's probably tuned in and been watching. So cheers for being okay with me racing a few times every week. And also Sim Boys, Hot Toddies, United Electrical, Oz Oval for putting on the series, and yourself, Steve. You do a great job, and probably underrated because I know how much hard work it is behind the scenes doing this sort of stuff. And also, everything's simulated and inside lane. I think it is production, isn't it? So, cheers for everyone that puts all the series together. And, congrats as well, Troy, for the podium. It's good to see someone a bit new on the podium as well. So, good on him for getting up there too.
Yeah, no, there was the interesting thing from Daytona last week, mate. The way things worked out, we had 3 different people on the podium. We had a 6 different winner, so it certainly mixed things up a little bit at in the top 10 as much as anything else in the championship. So that sort of gives a few people a bit more hope, and hopefully that'll spur some more people on. I know what it's like to be running in a series and to be getting nowhere and go, I personally never think, I'm not going to win this, so I drop out. But I know some people do get a bit frustrated with not being able to get to the pointy end in some of these races. So to have something like that happen and mix up the top 10 a bit, it sort of also makes it a bit more interesting for you guys because you got a bit more of a battle rather than going, ho-hum, I'm still there,
Yeah, you get sick of that green one in my mirror. That's anyway, or sitting behind him. So it's nice to get a few newbies up the front. And I don't know, they probably go and recognise a few of these guys that improve season on season, and they all deserve a shout out for continuing to get better. And the field's definitely getting a bit tighter up the front.
No worries, and congratulations, Gary Wellman, our first repeat winner in the series in round 7. And first overall tonight. So good to see you, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week at Chicagoland.
Yeah, cheers, boys. Thanks for everything. I'll catch you next week.
And special thanks go out to the names on the screen. And if you want to be in the series, there's somebody in the socials at the moment, and they want to know how to get into series. If you go to the website, at ozoval.wixsite.com/index. You'll find the website, our Facebook page. There's a link to a Facebook page, and there's a link to the Discord on the Facebook page. And if you also look for that league ID that's on your screen at the moment, you'll be able to put an application through. And we'd appreciate you joining the Discord as well, so you know what's actually happening with everything. At this point, though, thanks to everybody involved tonight. Thanks to Everything Simulated and Shannon Wright and his crew. We go to Chicagoland Speedway next week. Thanks to Kobe Jordan for pushing the buttons for Inside Lane Productions and streaming through Quasi Esports. So on behalf of the commentary and video team, this is Steve Hoppett saying thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you next week at Chicagoland for round 8.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.